Is there something you're carrying that nobody in your life knows about? When people don't show up for you in the hard moments, is there a part of you that thinks maybe they didn't even know what you were going through? What if allowing yourself to be supported is one of the most loving, radical things you could do for yourself? Hey, welcome to Love Yourself Loudly podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nina. It is so wonderful to be with you guys here today. Happy Sunday if you're watching on launch day. I have a particular important topic to cover today that I think is so important for those of us who give, but have a hard time receiving. So if you can relate to that, please write in the comments, because I think it is a very common thing that we all go through. Sometimes it's hard to receive. It's hard to take in that vulnerability of needing someone, of needing support, and accepting the support in hard moments. I am particularly focusing this episode on the hyper-independence. Of course, that comes from our childhood, our family history. We are going to get into a little bit of that here today. But first, I want to talk about the why. Why don't we reach out for help? Why do we wait until the last final moment when we're already through the rain? I was thinking about that Mariah song, I Can Make It Through the Rain. But why do we wait until the tragedy or the crisis is over to share with our friends what's going on or share with our family members? It's sort of like we use it as a footnote when we go in and we hang out with those important people in our life. Like, yeah, things have been tough or stressful. Oh, by the way, I went through this terrible thing. And then the people listening are like, what? They're so surprised. And they're like, why didn't you reach out? Why didn't you say something? I could have at least brought you soup, or I could have sent you a voice note or something to support you. So it's beneficial, right? When we are independent and we can do for ourselves. These days, we have a lot of resources. If you need groceries, you're able to just pick up the phone and get it delivered. There's so many convenient services now these days where you could really consciously do it yourself. And at the same time, it feels nice sometimes to have someone step in and do something for you and support you. And it can also feel wildly uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to it. And there's all sorts of reasons why. And I want you to think too, if you're listening, what that is for you. There's so many reasons why we may not reach out for support when we're going through a hard time. It might be a fear of rejection. It might be a fear of that person not responding in the way that we might have wanted them to. It can also be sort of like this comparison trap that can come up for people. And it comes from a really compassionate and loving place. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I know I could tell this friend this hard thing that I'm going through, but they did mention a couple weeks ago that their parents are going through some health issues, or they've got this other thing going on and they have it way tougher than I do. So I'll just do this alone. I'll just go through this by myself. So it's this whole comparison of who has it worse than the other person. And again, it's not in a bad way. It's you being compassionate to other people, you being empathic, you saying to yourself, I really don't want to put someone in a harder place than maybe they already are in right now. And if you think about it for yourself, if someone reaches out to you, if someone asks you for support, you might say to yourself, oh, I like that. I like helping my friends, or I like helping my family members when they need something. It feels good. And there's all this research on loneliness that tells us that reaching out and helping someone helps us feel less alone. So we're not thinking about that in the moment, right? We're just thinking, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to bother someone. So it makes sense. If you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I feel all those things, like just keep listening. So first, I want to name a really important truth. And that is, I just want to recognize that some of you are not feeling supported. Some of you might say, there's nobody in my life that's coming to support me. I'm not being acknowledged in the hard moments. I feel like I'm always the one reaching out to check on people and no one's checking on me. There might be some armor up. I don't want to be vulnerable because no one's been there for me. It's really hard. I'm not going to keep reaching out if that person isn't going to reach out to me. I'm not going to keep giving if they're not giving to me. So I might as well just do it by myself. I might as well just stay independent, take care of it on my own because I can, because that's the piece I think that's really needing to be highlighted here, which is like, you probably can do it all by yourself. You probably got really good at it throughout your life, taking care of it all, doing it all, and taking care of other people. So yeah, technically you probably could. And so maybe that defensive stance feels like the right one for you because you're like, look, no one's doing it anyway for me. So no, I'm not going to keep reaching out because those people are not there for me. And that's real. That is so painful if you feel like you have a community around you and they're only there for you in the good times or the celebratory times. And they're not there for you when things get really hard, when they get really tough. So if that's you, I'm sorry you're going through that. That doesn't feel good. And I also want us to take a deep look at our own history and our behaviors. How are you showing up in your relationships? Whether that's your romantic partnership, your friendships, with your family members. Are you really sharing what's going on when it's happening? Are you reaching out? Are you saying, yes, I could use something, like I could use some groceries. I could use someone to come by and bring me ice cream and sit on the stoop with me and hang out and talk about what's been going on in my life. Are you doing that? And if there's some shadow there, because we did learn about shadow in episode 4, if there's some shadow coming up for you, like, no, I have been telling people, they haven't responded. Just sit with that. Those are painful, painful memories, I'm sure, that are coming up for you. And you have a right to feel upset if throughout your life, you've had to be the independent one. You haven't had the opportunity to ask for your needs to be met. And you have always been maybe the responsible one to have it all together and to carry everyone else's distress. And that's really tough. We also have to look inward. Are we really sharing when something is wrong? Are we really sharing when life is getting tough? Or are we using it as a bookend to the statement, I'm doing really well. A couple weeks ago, I went through something hard and I'm through it now and I'm okay now, because you don't want to burden anyone else. You don't want to be that person that everyone's worried about. It comes from a good place. And also it's a very lonely place. It's a really isolative place to be. I'm going to share a little story of a time where I did reach out and I did ask for help. I would probably classify myself as very independent from an early age, even like as a child, playing by myself, doing many things by myself. And I can relate to people that don't feel as comfortable reaching out. And this is a while ago. I would say, more of a friend / acquaintance. We were not very close, but I was going through something hard at the time. And this is a friend who is like very good at sharing what's going on in her life in real time. Like she will send me a long text and be like, oh my God, girl, da, 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 and like tell me all the things. And one time she was doing that. She reached out and unprompted, but was sharing something hard that she was going through. And at the time I was receiving the text, I also was going through a very difficult crises. And we all have these throughout our life. Like I'm sure as you're listening, you're like, yeah, I can think of those times in my life. And I was, I guess, sharing maybe some compassion for what she was going through. Like, oh, that sounds really hard. And I could have stopped there and just like dealt with what I was going through on my own or reached out to other people. But in that moment, I was like, well, this is kind of an acquaintance / friend. I haven't really given her an opportunity to show up for me in any way. Like, let me see what happens if I put myself out there a little and become a little bit more vulnerable than I'm used to being with her. And so I shared that I was going through a really difficult time and that it was really hard for me. And she showed up. She listened. She validated my experience. And of course, in those moments, sometimes even as you're thinking about it, you might say, oh, well, did she really validate you or was it good enough? And that is perfectionistic. I did not evaluate the way that she validated me. It just felt nice. I didn't need some like professional landing or some kind of like therapist style reflection. I just needed someone to say, that freaking sucks. I'm sorry you're going through that. It's really hard. That sounds really difficult. And that's what she did for me. And it felt good. I felt seen. I felt like I wasn't alone in the situation that I was in. And the story doesn't stop there, because after that, she asked me one more follow-up question. She's like, do you need anything? I can drop by today, tomorrow, whatever you need. And usually for a hyper-independent person, that person might say something like, no, I'm good, because of what I was talking about earlier, like convenience. We can, if we need groceries, we can get online and get them dropped off. We can get everything within a snap. So I don't really need anything, but I did say, yeah, actually one thing that could be helpful is if you could get me some groceries, get me some food, so that was just one less thing that I'd have to worry about when I was able to return home. And she did. That morning, she went and grabbed groceries, and even more than that, she grabbed little self-care things that she thought I would like, I don't know, like candles, all like this bath bombs, all the self-care type stuff that you don't think about when you're going through something hard. When you're going through something hard, you're just like, okay, what kind of food do I need? And like, let me just grab that. So it was nice. She dropped it off and then she left. So I didn't see her, but she just let me know, hey, groceries are downstairs. You go pick them up when you need them. And wow, I really felt so cared for in a difficult moment. It felt really good. And it strengthened the friendship. This was someone who was sort of like an acquaintance / friend, I would say. If we're thinking about like a friendship solar system, maybe she was like further out, but I invited her in and she met me there. And I said, this is a person that I want to keep around, because the same way that I might treat her in a difficult moment, she was able to meet me there too. It felt connecting. And especially in this world when we all feel so disconnected with how we're all typically virtual now, et cetera, it was really, really nice. Now, I also want to give the caveat that not everyone knows what to say when you're going through a hard moment. So if you can, try to give compassion or just less judgment around how people show up for you. So it might be that they, I don't know, do something that you maybe didn't really need. Like maybe they send you a card and you're like, okay, well, this isn't hitting. This isn't helpful. But accept that people are making an effort to be there for you, whether it's a voice note, a card, or an action, like I was saying with the groceries, or sending you your favorite self-care item. Online, there's a lot of talk about how you can support someone, which I think is really helpful. So something like, hey, I'm bringing dinner over to your house Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Why don't you just pick the day? So it makes it easier for the person that's in a hard situation. They don't have to think about what they need. The person is already saying, this is what I'm going to do for you, and just pick the day. So I think that that is really good when we're thinking about how we support people, that we're now getting information about how to do it in a way that doesn't burden the person who's going through a hard time. And not everyone is following those self-help online platforms. And so give your friends and family some grace. They may not know exactly what to do. They may ask you, how can I support you? It may overwhelm you a little bit. And so I want to also honor that it may overwhelm you when people are asking, how can I support you? So where you come online is that you will take a deep breath. Maybe you journal. What do I need right now? Maybe you go for a walk if you're able to. Say, what would be supportive to me right now? Then you get back to that person when you've had that little thing in mind. And we're going to talk about how to do that, because especially if we're thinking about our history, our nervous system can be wired in a way where asking for help can feel triggering. It can feel really uncomfortable. It can feel like tense tightness in the body. And so we have to be sensitive to that. Maybe you grew up in an environment where your needs were not met. Maybe you were meeting everyone else's needs, like a parentified child, for example, but no one was there for you. No one was asking you, what do you need right now? And of course, we don't speak in absolutes. Maybe sometimes your family was there for you, but not all the time. Nobody's perfect. And so we have to honor that's where it comes from. Take a deep breath. And if we feel the tension coming up, release it and say, what is one small step that I can take today to move toward vulnerability? It's safe now. It's safe to receive support. Maybe it wasn't as a kid, because maybe you tried to reach out and the parent or the caregiver or the person rejected you, or the friend, and it was so painful and it was so hard. But now as adults, we can validate our own feelings and say, you know what? This is a hard moment. This is really tough. I'm going to first validate my own feelings about what happened. That way, if someone else rejects you, it's like, okay, well, I already validated my own feelings about it, so I'm good, So have your own back first, and then take a breath and just try to reach out just a little bit. If someone asks you, how can I be supportive? Maybe you say one small thing. Oh, can you grab my mail? Can you go for a walk with me? Oh, I'm around the corner. Do you want to grab ice cream with me? Something small that doesn't take much effort, that would help you feel more seen in what you're going through. We're not perfect. We don't have perfect lives. We go through hard things and we recover. It's a cycle. It's a roller coaster of life. It's a crazy, wild ride. And wouldn't it be nice if you had some support along the way? And wouldn't it be nice if you felt seen along your journey instead of giving the report later that you went through something hard and everyone being shocked by what happened? Wouldn't it be nice to just go along the journey together? I'm thinking as we're talking about this topic about a lot of friends in my own environment where we're getting to the age where our parents are getting older. And a lot of us have parents who are going through different health struggles or health issues. And what a beautiful moment to be in community. This is hard for all of us. How can we support each other on this journey? How can we be there for each other? This is really tough. So as I'm talking about this topic, maybe you're thinking about communities that you're in where everyone might be going through a similar stage. How can we all support each other through what we're going through instead of suffering in silence or having a painful experience and waiting till we're on the other side to share? Can we share now? All we have is the present moment. We don't have a year from now. That's not guaranteed. We just have right now. Loving yourself loudly is not always about how you are with yourself, how you treat yourself. Sometimes it's about how you let others in, how you let others love you in difficult moments. If you've been the strong one, if you've been the one who handles it, I got this. Yeah, that's a nice strength to have. And asking for help, asking for support is not a weakness. It makes you human. And it also makes you just generally more relatable to other people. People want to be around you more when they realize you're just like everybody else. You're not some superhuman person, and you don't have to be. In adulthood, we come back to safety. We come back to safety in our bodies and we realize we're good. We're good no matter what. And it would be nice to have some support along the journey. It's important to remember that when you let people in, when you start making the effort to do something different, your nervous system might push back. Your nervous system might be like, whoa, girl, don't do that. And over time, the body gets more and more comfortable with something different. So that's the beauty of neuroplasticity. So this week, take a chance, start small, and let the groceries come to the door. Is there something you're going through that nobody knows about? What's keeping it there? Think of someone who would want to show up for you. Have you given them a chance? Are you protecting yourself or closing yourself off from something that you really want? What is one small thing you can let someone do for you this week? This is Love Yourself Loudly, and I'll see you in the next episode. Okay, real quick. Thank you for listening to this episode. This is for entertainment purposes only, and it's not therapy or medical advice. If you're having a hard time, please reach out to a licensed professional. If this episode hit home, please share it with someone who might enjoy it. You already know who it is. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening to the podcast form, please rate and review. It helps this podcast reach the people who need it most. And before I let you go, one more thing. I have a free virtual workshop. It's called The Daily Gaze, and the link is right inside the description. So go ahead and click on it and enjoy it. I hope it's powerful and it shapes the way that you form an embodied relationship with yourself. Now, the most important thing is to come find me on social. You can find me at Dr. Nina Polyné or Love Yourself Loudly podcast. Until next time, love yourself loudly. I'm Dr. Nina, and I'm not sorry about it.